Coming up on the Sports Desk, our first official show of summer, so let's spend a little bit of time at the beach. Surfing for a Cure takes over the lineup at Torrance Beach. You'll be blown away by how much money South Bay surfers raised for pediatric cancer research. Plus, Torrance plays host to an event that's about as much of a summer pastime as you're gonna find. The Sports Desk takes a trip out to the Little League All-Star Tournament. And most dreams of making it to your sport's biggest stage start early on. Meet an LA Kings legend who not only fulfilled his childhood dream, but is inspiring local students to start reaching for the stars right away. All that's coming up today, right here on the Sports Desk. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another week right here on the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Wan Hernandez. So I've probably said the word summer at least once every show since Easter, and it is finally officially here. Our first true summer show of the year. So today, as you can tell, we're gonna kick back and enjoy it, a little casual. To start that off, we're gonna go right where one lucky class at Victor Elementary ended their school year with a nice little surprise. Los Angeles is host to several professional sports franchises, and when the larger-than-life athletes and faces of those teams aren't on the field, odds are you'll see them somewhere around town spreading some goodwill and their love of the game with fans. Whether it's charity events like tournaments or fundraisers for boosters, the job of a professional athlete is a busy one, which is exactly what made one ex-pro and current broadcaster's afternoon in Torrance pretty special. When first grade teacher Cheryl Rosenthal inspired her students at Victor Elementary to win a day with LA Kings mascot Bailey, the young hockey fans had no idea they were setting out to remind us one of the greatest lessons in sports. In a video contest with tons of competition, the odds were stacked against Miss Rosenthal's class.
When they didn't win the contest, we thought this is a great opportunity to teach the kids about what a real win is. It's not just winning that first place, that position, but it's about showing up and participating. So I made a call to Daryl, and they were in the playoffs, so it was a busy time, and he immediately jumped on board.
A chance to pass around a Stanley Cup championship ring and a few words of wisdom from an NHL great. Daryl Evans shared stories from his days in the NHL, shared his love of the game, and some sound advice on sticking with your passion.
The harder that you work, give it your best effort, and everything that you do in life, you're going to succeed regardless of what it is. You may not always win, but eventually you're going to get to where you want to get to, and that's kind of the approach that I've taken through life. I grew up in Toronto, Canada, youngster just like yourselves, hadn't even started playing hockey yet, and all of a sudden it became a dream to become a member of the National Hockey League.
I like how I explain to them how you don't need money to be happy. He's doing something in his life, his career's over, and now he's still involved in hockey and doing charity work, and to him that is more money than anything.
You know what? You know what makes somebody rich is when they find something that they like to do, because I work pretty much every day and I feel like I've never worked a day in my life because I found something that I love to do. So I'm rich because I have good friends, I'm healthy, and I love what I do. So that makes me rich. That makes me a billionaire. How's that?
They didn't get their party with Bailey, and these children may be too young to know much of the Miracle on Manchester. But it's never too early, and we'll never be too old for a reminder there's always more than one way to win.
You know, I think the most important thing is when you get to speak to these kids, you learn a lot about them and you let them talk, and that's why I like to interact and have them ask questions. That way, you know, you have an idea of what they want to hear about. And regardless if you're an athlete or not in life, it's just to give your best effort in everything that you do. I think if you do that, you surround yourself with good people, I think you're going to have a strong cast to be able to draw off for the rest of your life. And that's what I feel most fortunate about. It was great being a professional athlete, but I'm probably more proud of the accomplishments that I've made since playing.
So as one of the voices of the LA Kings broadcast team, like Evans said himself, he keeps quite busy. Number 15 is also an executive at the Toyota Sports Center in El Segundo. If that sounds at all familiar, it's where the LA Kings and the Lakers both practice. That's where he serves as the power skating consultant since 2007, showing some of the organization's up-and-comers that he hasn't lost a step on the ice quite yet. As for Evans, the hockey player, the left wing was drafted by the Kings back in 1980 in the 9th round. During his rookie season, he led the purple and gold in the playoffs in scoring with 13 points. One of those points put the icing on the cake in the greatest comeback in NHL playoff history, that miracle on Manchester. Down 5-0 going into the third period, a deficit nobody has ever come back from in playoff history. The Kings tied it up at 5 with seconds left in regulation. Enter the red-hot rookie. Evans scored the game-winning goal to go down in NHL and Los Angeles Kings history. Okay, everybody, time for a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to cruise on down to Torrance Beach, mix it up in the South Bay surf scene, and we even have a very special guest with us to celebrate an event that's turning up the heat in the fight against cancer.
If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Desk, where we just saw one professional athlete visiting the South Bay, and here we've got another coming home and dropping in to spend some time with us in the Sports Desk studio. He grew up surfing the avenues in Torrance Beach and turned that into a career chasing waves all over the world. It's pure luck when this man gets to even spend a little bit of time with us in studio. So, Mr. South Bay himself, Alex Gray, how's it going, man?
Good. The pleasure is all mine to be here with all the amazing people of Torrance, the Sunshine City, as I like to call it.
By the way, is that an appropriate title that I give you, Mr. South Bay Surf?
Yeah, I'll take doctor or lawyer, or Mr. President's pretty good too.
Awesome. So you're hanging out here for a couple days. Well, really for a couple weeks you've been hanging out in the South Bay. What's it like when you get to come home, relax, get off the grind for a little bit?
Yeah, it's great. I travel the world about 9 months out of the year, chasing big storms that generate big waves. And to be home for a couple weeks is an afternoon delight. And while I'm home, you know, it's winding down, it's doing laundry, which I hate. But you got to keep those clothes clean, going and getting new equipment, new surfboards. I love going and speaking to some of the schools. I've spoke to most of the schools in Palos Verdes, spoke to Maricosta High School before. Tried to get some, foundation charity work going and see my family, see my friends, have a good time.
And charity work, you mentioned it. That's actually where we ran into you just a couple weeks ago. Perfect that you mentioned it. Surfing for a Cure. That's where we saw you out at the beach in Torrance Beach, and you were talking to us about how that was the place where you caught your first wave.
Sure was. Yeah, surfing was not introduced to me through my parents or anything. It was actually my brother went to junior lifeguards and met a guy named Jimmy Miller. And we were skateboarders at the time, and he came home and he's like, I'm a surfer now. And I'm like, you're a surfer now? Well, then that means I got to be a surfer. And my dad dragged this really old foam board down to Torrance Beach, and it wasn't as glorious as I imagined. I got rolled around in the shore break while they were out killing it, and I was still couldn't get past the knee-high waves. But finally, I think I stood up on one wave, and that was it. Hooked for life, addicted for life, and now I get to call it a professional career. So it's a pretty darn lucky situation to be doing what you love as a profession. And yeah, it all started at Torrance Beach.
Started at Torrance Beach, where we ran into you just a couple weeks ago, like I said. That'll actually take us into our next story. Ask any surfer. Expecting the saltwater obsessed to skip a day of waves is like telling the Dalai Lama to stop smiling. Not gonna happen. Pretty good analogy, right?
Hey, you gotta love the Dalai Lama.
So when Adele Luttrell and Brendan Simmons decided to enlist their surfing friends to raise money for pediatric cancer research and affected families, the term party wave was given a whole new meaning at Torrance Beach.
The concept seems so simple, but maybe for those who see the ocean as a playground, walking laps or running 5Ks just doesn't match the joy of catching a wave. Now, tell them a 6 a.m. dawn patrol could mean the world to a 10-year-old cancer survivor and her family. Where do we sign up?
Many years ago, my son and husband and I participated in the Relay for Life. My son is a cancer survivor, and so we thought it was a good way to get involved to show our support. And I would try to recruit surfers to come and be on my team. And it was really difficult because they would say, I don't know, it depends on the surf, or I'll be there depending on the surf.
And well, we have these Relay for Lives where they walk around the circle, raise money walking. Say, well, we are all surfers. Let's get together and go out and surf and have people pledge us to go out surfing. We all love surfing. We live in a great community where everybody gets together anytime something goes wrong, everybody kind of comes out to help. So it's just good to be in a community where so many people are there to help out other people in need.
With the wheels in motion, Surfing for a Cure was born. No heat schedules, wave scores, contest jerseys, or judges' booths. Just get in the water, share some waves, a couple stories, and let the world know you're out here to support those in need. And it even managed to bring out a familiar face, taking a break from chasing waves all over the world to be a part of his hometown's big day in the water.
Unbelievable. It takes a foundation with good karma and a great organization to bring the best waves I've ever seen at Torrance Beach in the summer. It's a place where I caught my first wave, and a few of my friends actually help run the organization, so they asked if I would be in town and could come down, and I would be down at Torrance Beach every day anyways. This is my favorite place in the world, and there's a whole pack of kids that are starting to surf, and it worked out that I was home and got to be a part of this incredible event.
And while the prospect of making a massive impact on your own might seem overwhelming, when local surfer Matthew Patman raised over $3,000, the motivation was simple.
Well, I love to surf, and I'm pretty good at raising money, so it's combined, and it's helping others, so it's a perfect fundraiser.
After Surfing for a Cure raised over $8,000 for pediatric cancer research in 2012, the momentum in 2013 not only brought the South Bay surf community out to Torrance Beach in droves, but it helped grow the vision of using surfing to inspire the spirit of giving and good fortune in lineups worldwide.
Look, surfing is a funny sport. We're all out riding waves, and in a sense it's very selfish. It's one person, one wave, and it's so great to give back and to be able to raise money for Surfing for a Cure and to help people through surfing. It's as pure of something as you can ever do. We're in Mother Nature's office, and she is giving us the gift of what these kids inspire us with every day.
It means the world to me to be involved with anything that helps, especially kids with cancer, and things like this just really make me feel alive and make me feel fortunate for being able to do the things I can do for these type of foundations.
The ocean has a lot to offer. It can be a playground or it can be a place for healing. And I think in this sense it's both. It's great to see them get out there and enjoy the playground essence, and then also, have a little healing, have a little Mother Nature put a smile on your face.
Now, for everybody who missed the actual Surfing for a Cure relay at Torrance Beach, no worries, because the fundraising efforts definitely not over. We told you Everlasting Smiles and Surfing for a Cure were able to raise over $8,000 last year. The relay and all the auctions of that day brought in over $14,000 this time around. Our man Alex over here was a part of that. More on that later. But this is only the beginning. Donations are being accepted throughout the entire summer with another silent auction and party coming up. So we'll share that info with you once it's all set up. And of course, the Sports Desk will continue to be a part of helping raise as much as possible for pediatric cancer research. If you want to make a donation, just check out the Everlasting Smiles website. I surfed in the event. Alex obviously was out there with us too. So when it asks which surfer you want to sponsor from the relay, just throw either of our names in there and you're good to go. Doesn't matter who, it all goes to a good cause, right?
I'm saying pick me. Winner, chicken dinner.
Pick me. Like you said, where you caught your first wave, you're now back in town, paying it forward. What was that day like for you out at the beach? Great cause.
Yeah, it was great. One of my friends works closely with the organization, and I got a hit on Facebook saying, "Are you in town?" I said, "Of course, I'd love to come down and do that." And I don't think surfers are going to change the world by going out and surfing, but I think that the ocean is a natural healing place. It's a playground. It's a place where you can be yourself. It's whatever you want it to be, and for it to be a morning of us giving back, to help people in need who need friends' help. I think that's so cool to do through the ocean, the beach, somewhere where, as you saw on the camera, it's high fives and smiles all around. The kids said, somebody said it best, like, who doesn't like surfing? Yep. That's right.
It's just a simple concept. Take something that we all love so much, like surfing, we're all so passionate about it, and use it to help good people.
Yeah, giving back. We have to, right? The only way that we're going to make this world better is to continue on, fun things and passions and love for Mother Nature, such as surfing.
And that's actually something that I think a lot of people, obviously in the South Bay, know you for doing a lot of charitable work. You take take surfing, something that you love so much and it's your career, and you use it to do good things for other people. Give people a little bit of insight, or maybe just throw out some ideas of other charities that you like to work closely with, or something that you'd like to encourage South Bay surfers to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. There's the Jimmy Miller Foundation. They're down at El Porto. They work with, wounded warriors. They work with less fortunate people. There's also the Malleola Foundation that works with cystic fibrosis kids. And my brother, who passed away a few years ago, we have a foundation for him, the Christopher Gray Foundation, that we, or a fund, I guess you'd say, and we take our money and give it to people like the Malleola Foundation and Jimmy Miller. And yeah, you have to give back. We have to get the kids stoked, heal people who are in need of it, and if it's ocean and surfing, I'm in.
Game on, right? Sign me up. And you also told me a little bit about how that kind of is enabled now because you're off the QS, you're not touring the world basically in contests, and now your career's taken a whole different turn. What's it been like for the last couple of years? What have you been up to?
I was following the qualifying series up until I was about 20 years old, and I had this crazy bacteria infection that turned into pleurisy. It's an infection in the lining between your lung and your heart. And after that, I learned how to breathe again 3 months later and went to join back on the tour, and I'd apparently missed the date of membership. So they took all my points away, and as if everything I've ever done never existed. And I was so bummed and just kind of mad in general. And there was about a year of transitioning where you can see on screen right now, I was given the opportunity through my sponsors to stop doing contests and chase swells like this in Tahiti all around the world, 12 months a year. And basically all the waves that I was drawing on my paper in school that was supposed to be schoolwork, I get to go and chase them and be there when they're at their best.
Yeah, and a wave like that, no big deal at all, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have to get sponsored by Depends or something if we keep that up.
Sponsored by Depends. I like that. Their first surf sponsorship. So you talked about it. You had a little bit of a setback in your health, and that kind of slowed you down in the surfing world for a minute. But one of the guys that we actually got to meet and hang out with a little bit at Surfing for a Cure has a bit of a bigger challenge, definitely a major challenge, but he's a huge inspiration. And I think it's safe to say that when he got to the beach, he stole the show. So check it out. Obsession, religion, lifestyle, hobby, call it what you will, almost every surfer has a different word to describe their devotion to riding waves. And while hordes of South Bay surfers came out to fight against cancer at the Surfing for a Cure relay in Torrance Beach this summer, it was one man's self-described sickness that became downright inspirational.
To get back out there on a wave, you're back in the zone, you're just in your element. Your concentration is focused on what you're doing, down the line. Just you forget about all the bad stuff in life. You're just back on cloud 9.
What would it take to tear an athlete away from their deepest passion? In Nathan's case, that's just not possible. After a surfing accident in Hermosa Beach left Goki paralyzed from the chest down in 2008, rather than turning his back on the ocean, it remained his muse.
The first day of my injury, I was skeptical about getting back in the water. I didn't think I'd be able to do anything ever again. I thought I'd be stuck in bed the rest of my life. Brendan, came in with a postcard thing of Jesse Billauer on a wave, and it just sparked again in my head. It's kind of weird how anything can happen in life.
And while the day's event was about the sport of kings supporting a good cause and an opportunity for those of good health to surf in gratitude, the mission for Nate's wave stole the show. With a pack of helpers, each with assignments and their own positions in the water, catching a wave is no longer a simple task for Goki. It's a team effort. But the importance of each ride, never more obvious.
He was stoked to get a couple rides, and the lifeguards were a little apprehensive, like, whoa, maybe not, no more. So we got him in a couple waves, and that's all that matters. He had a good time. He wanted to stay out longer. I feel like they always want to stay out longer, or they always want to get a bigger one. So it's pretty classic.
I need 100% assistance. Pretty much what I do myself is just lean left, right, once I'm finally in a wave, and that's up to my friends, they come through, they really know what they're doing.
It's it's crazy, like the process he goes through to go in the water. It's like he's so passionate about it, but it's really inspirational, like you were saying. But it's also really makes me appreciate like what I have, or for being healthy and happy and all that stuff. Definitely makes you appreciate life.
Goki is now an active supporter of countless surf-related charities. In fact, the man that saved him on the day of his accident is junior high friend and founder of Everlasting Smiles Foundation, Brendan Simmons. So while even the most tragic of accidents can slow every athlete down, sometimes it's best to remember the motivation to get back out there is usually pretty simple.
I mean, it's just what I want to do. I mean, I just like to get out there and surf. It's just kind of a sickness, I guess.
Pretty amazing story, huh?
Yeah, I tell you what, Juan, you look up inspiration in the dictionary and you will see Nate's face and story. I mean, it's heartwarming. A guy, faces a physical challenge and overcomes it to do what he still loves, which is get back in the water. And the guy's such a good guy, and it's so inspiring for somebody like all of us who, we take it for granted that we can just walk down to the beach and go enjoy our favorite sport in the world. And he really puts it in perspective how lucky we are to live this life and have the ocean in our backyard. And, big up, Nate. Thank you for the inspiration.
That's exactly what he does. He puts it all in perspective. He lives here in the South Bay. Sometimes you see him out at the beach here, up north in Malibu, depends, but the guy's always down to get in the water. It's pretty amazing. And then the photo that he was talking about seeing, his first day after his accident, decided he's going to get back in the water, which to me is the most amazing thing. It was a photo of Jesse Blower. You're friends with Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse, unbelievable. Similar story to Nate. Surfing accident in Zuma, and Jesse was on the cusp of a budding professional career. He's one of the best surfers ever to come out of the United States, and unfortunately had the accident which paralyzed him. Same thing as Nate, said that is not going to knock me down. I'm getting straight back out there, and he would be the forefront of getting back on a board and showing all of us what's really possible with a positive attitude, determination, passion, you name it all. That's what these guys live, and that's what we try to embody from them, I guess you'd say.
And that was my first time actually going out, doing something like that, pushing Nate into waves, helping out. It's a pretty intense process. You talked a little bit about doing the same thing with Jesse out in Hawaii and some pretty heavy waves. What's that experience been like for you?
Oh, incredible. It's the innocent stoke. It's like these guys are catching their first wave all over again. For them to be back out in the water alone is incredible for them. Healing, smile on the face. But like Reef said, they want the biggest waves of the day. Like these guys were incredible surfers and still are. And they're out there to get the biggest wave of the day, and they want to do it. And I'm always so nervous and scared, like, no, not this one, not this one. And these guys are like, no, this one. I'm like, are you serious? And like, let me go, man, let me go. I'm like, here you go, and it's insane. So really just inspiring is the greatest word there. And I just feel privileged to know these guys and be a friend of them. I'm sure just being around them, you feel it. They live the energy that we're all searching for in life, and these guys are doing it in a tough situation.
Awesome. Great. Well, so before I let you go, wrap things up today, let everybody here in the South Bay know, while you're here in town, what's Alex Gray up to? What's on deck right now?
Friendly games of Twister, long walks on the beach at sunset.
You already brought up the long walks on the beach.
Oh, come on, but they're my favorite thing. No, we're in the summer transition, so South Pacific swells. I'm on deck for a big wave event in Peru. There's a 2-month waiting period, and we were waiting for the waves to get big enough. The picture on screen is an invite to the Eddie Aikau, which will happen this winter if the waves get big enough again. And just on the computer constantly looking at storms and trying to be at the right place at the right time to get maybe the biggest or best wave anybody's ever seen, and do it with my friends and have the best time ever doing it.
Speaking of the Eddie, first person ever from the South Bay to be invited into the Eddie Aikau?
Yeah, huge honor. Look, the South Bay surf community is infinite. There's some of the best surfers in the world have come out of the South Bay, and for me, during this generation of surfing, to be the first ever invited to the Eddie is the biggest honor of my life, and incredible to represent my hometown of the South Bay. I hope it goes. I want some big waves, and I want to be able to put on a jersey for this lovely town we live in. Biggest contest in surfing, probably in the world, really. So Alex Gray representing us all well. Thanks for stopping by, talking story. Great to have you. But for now, time for one more break today, folks. When we get back, it's another summer festivity for you. This time, we take a trip to the ballpark. Torrance hosts the Little League All-Stars.
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not.
I'm fine.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to our first official show of the summer at the Sports Desk. It's been a blast so far. We got to see some students in Torrance end their school year on a bang with a visit from an NHL great. And then we get our own little visit here from a guy living the endless summer. Now it's time for a classic. It doesn't get more American, and almost nothing else in sports says summer throughout most of America like a day at the yard. This year, Torrance Little League is playing host to every kid's favorite time of the baseball season, and Brittany Rodriguez is out and about taking in the scene at the Little League All-Star Tournament. Check it out.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game. Today we're taking you through the experience of the Little League All-Star Tournament.
We are the North Torrance All-Stars! Woo! Yeah! North Torrance!
Pack up the sunflower seeds and put on your favorite team colors. The family is taking a trip to the good old ball field.
For the All-Stars, Torrance Little League is hosting, so you have Riviera, North Torrance, Lomita, all of them come play here, and pretty much from the time they're little to the time they come up, you have 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, and each night you come out and play, and 2 games and you're out if you lose twice, and that's why you have everybody standing along the fence. They're all rooting for their teams.
This is a local event baseball fans don't want to miss.
I'm here to watch 2 of my teammates who used to be on my team, the Major Angels, Mikey Burciaga and Eric Jimenez, and just to cheer on my teammates, like pump them up if they see me, just to get them to do better if they see me.
It's all run by volunteers, from the umpires to the staff behind the snack shop. Everyone donates their time to make the All-Star Tournament a home run.
I am the official 50-50 lady. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I have fun doing it. It's good.
Martha doesn't have kids, yet she takes one for the team.
It helps raise money for the pins and the flags and all the things we need to run the tournament. It's just a good way to get all the money we need, that's all. That's what we do.
Thanks, Brittany. Pretty cool to see how much work and how many people come together to make an event like an All-Star Tournament happen. Always a good time. For more info on this summer's event, check out the Little League's website, www.torrancelittleleague.com. And in some very sad baseball news for the South Bay community, former Torrance High pitcher and Major Leaguer Justin Miller passed away this past week in his Florida home the evening of June 26th. The exact cause of Miller's death is still unknown. After his stellar Tartar pitching career, Miller was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in 1997 and went on to lead a successful career in the big leagues from 2002 to 2010. In those 7 seasons with the Giants, Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Marlins, Miller held a 24-14 record with 33 saves. Of course, he was most recognizable for what's been dubbed the Justin Miller Rule, where Major League Baseball forced the pitcher to wear long sleeves on the mound because opposing batters would complain the tattoos that covered his arm were a huge distraction. Off the diamond, since retiring, the former Tartar opened up Justin Miller's legacy baseball and softball personal training in Clearwater, Florida. There he worked one-on-one with young ball players in the area, teaching them the mechanics and philosophies of pitching. He was also a volunteer youth coach with the Palm Little League. Survived by his wife and 2 sons in Florida, as well as his parents and brother, they're still living here in Torrance, so our thoughts here on the Sports Desk and from everybody at CitiCABLE 3 go out to the Miller family on both coasts. And for anybody who is curious, a memorial service will be planned somewhere in this area, although a date hasn't been set just yet. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us this week on the Sports Desk. Not the most upbeat way to end it, but the best we can do is keep playing. We had planned to wrap up our prep yearbook this week, but with our special guest in the house, those last 2 schools, West High and Bishop Montgomery, don't you worry, guys. We haven't forgotten about you. You'll be getting some love next week. As for everybody else, we're back on our summer schedule here, airing a new show every other week, so don't miss me too much. We'll be back before you know it. In the meantime, shoot us an email anytime and say, hey, why not? It's the Sports Desk at torranceca.gov. All right, everybody, like I said, huge thanks to Alex Gray for coming in and hanging out with us a little bit today. For everybody who wants to check out what he's doing around the globe, check out his website, turkeymelt.com. It's a pretty funny one. We'll see you again next time.